Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. And as our introducer mentioned, the space sector that we know wouldn't be possible without the public support. So we today have the three main representatives of how this sector, as we say, is a place to invest which is safer than real estate. It's a lot of public money being put. So you, from investor perspective, don't have to bet if something is gonna work or not. This is something that is being paid by those big guys, And then growth, commercial success, these are different things. But remember that in the old times of the e-commerce, you can solve things, sometimes buying some AdWords. You cannot breathe the law of gravity, so you have a lot of technical talent to do here. So thank you all of you for being here today. And I would like to start, from your different positions in your institutions. What are your contributions in general to the space, but mostly to this startup world that is quite, I don't say it's quite new for space, because in space we always had the startups, but now with this much more dynamic thing, you are having very new programs. So please, Irene.
Yes, pleasure to be here. Thank you everyone for being here, and thank you, Luis, for inviting me to this panel. So I work in DigiDefis, the Directorate General for Defense Industry and Space at the European Commission. And our main role there is to, in the unit where I work, that's on innovation and new space and space defense, is to support space innovation and entrepreneurship. So really that's our mission, to turn Europe into the hub for space entrepreneurship. And the reason why we want to do it, and maybe many of you are already familiar with it, but maybe some of you are not, is that because space is not new, but it's an increasingly strategic sector. And we're seeing this revolution of space, where private actors are playing a more and more important role. We're seeing this really like a revolution, a new way of doing space, and we're seeing these new companies, especially startups, that are bringing a new way of doing things, innovative technologies, but also a different mindset, a different way of doing things, a more agile way of doing things, or leveraging synergies with other sectors, and we really want to leverage that for Europe. So that's why we are helping the space sector. Space entrepreneurship and innovation mostly. Okay. And how we're doing it is mostly through our Cassini initiative. So Cassini is our umbrella initiative, so to say, in support of space entrepreneurship and innovation in Europe. And we have several actions that I'll go into them later on, but this is a bit our framework to support space innovation.
And save something for later,
yes,
because
I will.
You have a lot of stuff in there. So second, Maria Jose, I think for many of the Spanish players in space, it's a dream that now we have a Spanish agency. That means that sometimes we don't have to knock 8 different doors. So you are making something which is very comprehensive, and also making it much more efficient, from the point of even fund distribution and everything. So which is the role that you are taking from the Spanish agency?
Yes, all right. We want to unify in one entity every competence that has several entities in Spain. Today, Spanish Space Agency wants being forced with the policies of Spain. We want to unify activities, tasks, and every programs related with space. We are collaborating strong with ESA. Our colleagues are delegates in several committees. For example, our vice president, our director is the vice president of the committee of ESA, of European Space Agency, and we want to to put it very high. Okay. the Spanish space companies. We are working hard. We was founded just in 2022, so we are starting and we are very, very happy.
Okay, you're doing a great job. And Carlos, from ISA, you are the manager of the ISA Business Incubation Center here in Madrid, one of the first SABICs that I think were established in Europe, not only in Spain. So later we'll talk about the ISA programs, but from the ISA big perspective, how are you supporting entrepreneurs? And how are you helping VCs to get in touch with your incubators and also with your alumni?
Okay, the SABIC started 20 years ago in the Netherlands, in Noordwijk. It was an MVP, a prototype of an incubation center, and the mission was to support space startups. I mean, upstream and downstream. Startups using space technology, space data, or developing space technology. Right now, we are a network of 30 incubation centers in 90 locations. We are supporting 200 startups per year, and we have supported more than 1,500 startups from the beginning. And our main mission is to support, from a technical and business point of view, these startups to grow. In the business support, we include also the help them to look for the financial, so the interaction with the public and private institutions who are supporting and financing these startups is critical for us.
Okay, so Irene, coming back to you, which are the main programs that you are having from the European Commission targeting the startups in space?
So we have, as I was saying, we have Cassini as the main umbrella program in support of space entrepreneurship and innovation. And with Cassini, we try to cover the whole entrepreneurial cycle, so from idea generation to scale up. What we want to do is really to help space startups to stay here in Europe, to be able to thrive and grow here. And so we have many actions. Maybe I'll focus on the most relevant ones. But we have first on the idea side, Cassini hackathons, for example, that are aimed at for students and young entrepreneurs so that they can create solutions using space data. Then we have Cassini challenges and prizes for a bit when there's already something in place. Then we also have Cassini matchmaking, which is a bit of an arena and a series of events that we organize, leveraging events like this one, like Deep Tech events, where we try to bring together the whole space ecosystem in Europe, investors, companies, institutional representatives, so that they can connect, build partnerships, and especially find the investment that they need in Europe. We also have the Cassini Business Accelerator, which is more aimed at the growth stage companies. And we also have IOD/IOV, in-orbit demonstration and validation, where we provide for free launch services and aggregation, if needed, to demonstrate and validate technologies in orbit. And I think that's a bit the overall framework. And then, well, importantly, we have our Cassini facility that we deploy through EIF, the European Investment Fund, which is a 1 billion Europe capacity facility that we provide to VC funds interested in investing in space. So through EIF, we provide them with money that they can then invest in space startups. And we have already 13 deals signed with VC funds in Europe, which is already a big number. And we're really starting to see how this money is put into startups for real. And then, of course, besides Cassini, we have other programs where we collaborate very closely with ESA as well to try to find synergies between our program and not overlap or duplicate. We also have the programs from the European Investment Innovation Council, the European Union level as well. And that's it. And Horizon Europe, which is our research and innovation fund. This is more aimed at bigger companies or more SMEs, not so much startups.
Okay, so I will get back with you to this investment in funds,
Exactly.
which I think is
Yes.
quite new thing and quite different. Maria Jose, and you're doing a lot of things. You're pushing like crazy since you were established. And I know it's an obsession for the Spanish agency, work with startups, and you are doing some things, you want to do some more things. Tell us a bit about this, you know?
Yes, I think the closest program to entrepreneur is Scale Up. because SABIC is one of the elements. Scale-up has two components. The first component is Innovate. Innovate includes SABIC, is an incubator program. The second one is technology broker, that you well know. It's very interesting for companies that are starting their business because it goes to give the opportunity to ensure the IP, the property of intellectual and industrial knowledge. And it gives the opportunity to send a project to a next call that is Spark funding, focused in innovation projects. And the third is a program to improve the skills of entrepreneurs. To raise ISA programs with training, with specific training to put the projects in the ISA calls. And the third component of Innovate is PhilUp. PhilUp is a program more focused in research and development because the program the companies use the facility of the PhilUp selected entity, and it's another opportunity to increase the knowledge, the TRL level of the company. And I think there are a lot of opportunities for companies. And also, we want to start participation in business, vast business application and space solution. It was a new program, but now we are preparing. We are not giving support letter for companies, but we want to start in a short time. We want to do it. And there are a lot of opportunities, for example, in military and dual projects, because Spanish Space Agency has a double minister because we are part of Ministry of Science, Innovation and University, and Defense Minister. And the budget in Defense has been increased a lot, so I am sure that there will be a lot of opportunities. And of course, the ISA programs, no? We want Spanish companies will be there, will be strong, and it's now our focus.
Okay, so you are covering all the gaps that we had in the past, it seems. You know, this BUS program for the applications is very important, something that the ecosystem were missing, because upstream is it's okay, but applications is something very important, and the ecosystem were missing. So that's a great news for that. And from ISA, now that something that Maria Jose mentioned about the ISA-BIC, you know, and I think ISA-BIC is something that every startup in space is looking at, and is the most well-known program as a brand. But what are you doing specifically for a start? Because now you've been running that in Madrid since 17, right? 15. So now almost 10 years. So you have a very well knowledge of how to do it. And if I were a startup, how can I get involved with you, you know, with the ISA-BIC? And what are the benefits of being there, you know?
Okay, the first thing is to contact with us, obviously, to provide you a personalized support. The ISA-BIC is providing a comprehensive service, including technical, business support, access to mentors, access to investors. We are all working with the same procedure. It's a procedure, but the execution of the project is local, and it is integrated in the local resources you have, because it's managed by the local partner. In our case, it's Comunidad de Madrid, the local partner. We are providing an economic incentive to support the technological development in the first stage. We don't have a specific requirement of TRL, so we are supporting more mature or less mature projects. It's not important. The most important is to have a relation with the space sector. And for providing the technical and business support, we are providing this by our own resources in Comunidad de Madrid, but also the support coming from our partners. The partnership is really important. In our case, we are receiving this support from the universities. All the public universities in the Madrid region are involved in the project. The startups are located in the universities, and we have also partners, industrial partners like GMB, Thales Alenia Space, or Indra, or Airbus, and others, and they also have the possibility to receive support from ESA. Very important, what we provide is the brand, to be in relation with the ESA, one of the most powerful brands in Europe, and to give the possibility to provide the message that they are being supported by ESA through the incubation program. So I think this is the most important thing we provide.
Okay, thank you. And going back to you, you make this announcement more or less, you know, that you're investing not only in startups and companies, but also in funds. And so I would like you to do, as we are in a dual technology, this dual question. Explain us a bit more how are you impacting directly VCs and also some success story about one of your invested startups or companies that is, you know, quite right.
That will be easy because we have many success stories, thankfully.
Yeah, okay.
I'm happy to say that. Cassini was launched only 3 years ago, I think between 2020 and 2021, and we're really already seeing the impact on the industry in terms of it's still a short horizon, I'd say, for an institutional program, but we're really seeing the impact. So on the investor side, as I was saying, we have this Cassini facility where we deployed 1 billion euros in support of space innovation and entrepreneurship. So what we do is deploy these funds through InvestEU, which is a European investment private equity program. Through EAF, we deploy this money for VC funds that are interested in investing in space. So they just reach out to us, well, through EAF, and they go through a due diligence process, obviously. And then if they are selected, they get an allocation of funding that they can then invest in space startups. And what we're seeing as well, and I think it's very interesting that we're seeing more and more generalist funds that are becoming interested in space as well. Before we used to have, in Europe at least, space was still seen by VCs as something a bit of a science fiction kind of type of investment, very risky. And as you were saying, investing in space, they're starting to see this change of mindset where investing in space is no longer a science fiction thing. It really has applications on Earth, a very high return on investment. It's not really something as risky as they were thinking. So we're seeing more and more generalist funds getting into space as well, and this is very interesting to see. And as I was saying, we have already signed, since the deployment of the Cassini facility, 13 VC funds that have received this facility. And this also comes with a lot of work on our side because we have also had to do some efforts doing some capacity buildings to really reach out to investors and explain to them what's in it for them, like what's the business in space for them. And we're really starting to see this return on the effort that we've put there. And as regards success stories, so as I was saying, we have many, but maybe I'd like to highlight a few. So we have, for example, ISAR Aerospace. I don't know if many of you know them, but ISAR is a German micro-launcher company based in Munich. And they were awarded in 2020, I think, our Horizon EIC Horizon Prize on low-cost micro-launcher solutions. And since then, they've been on a track for success, really. Like we've seen them really growing. We've seen them sign contracts with DLR, with ESA. They raised one of the largest funding rounds globally in space tech just last year, and with a co-investment through EIF. I think it was over 150 million euros, so a very successful fundraising round. And they were selected just earlier this year. We selected them together with ESA to be part of our flight ticket initiative. which is an initiative that we have put in place to step up our role as anchor customers for launch services. So we're releasing. This is a clear example of a company where we send a signal to the markets. This company is going to be a success, and the market listened, and we're really seeing this path. And we have many other companies. I can mention Endurosat, a Bulgarian manufacturer of satellites and space services provider as well. They've been involved in all of our initiative. They've been awarded contracts by us and by ESA as well. I can think of Rectangle, it's a Polish startup that's developing hardware components for secure applications, and they've received funding from Horizon Europe, participated in our business accelerator, and now they're in a partnership with the Polish main telecommunication provider. So.
One question: which is the average ticket that you put in a fund, or what is the typical size of the fund that is coming back to you?
It depends. It depends on the type of fund and the mandate that they have as well, because some of them are more generalist, so maybe they don't allocate all their money to space.
Question, do you give the money to the fund, or do you co-invest with the fund?
We do both.
Okay.
So we give money to the funds, and we also co-invest.
Okay.
We've done to date, I think, 4 co-investments into space companies. But we also have these 13 VC funds but it's mostly. But this is a thing that we have in Europe as well. Most of these VC funds, they focus on Series C and A, more or less.
Okay, Maria Jose, you have also a lot of additional tools to support the ecosystem. So I would like something like. That Irene mentioned, like Invierte, tools like this.
Invierte is a CDT program.
Yes.
CDT has Invierte, has Neotech, has other programs, and a lot of colleagues that are working in Spanish space agency now are from CDTI, I included. And we know them, and I'm sure we will collaborate with them to try improve the investment in companies. But as agency, we are in a previous step. We are strengthening companies with programs like Scale Up, with SABIC, with Technology Broker, Philab, and now, for example, we have opened the PTE program, the technological program for companies, for national companies, also. That is a good opportunity also for SMEs. Because there is a part of budget reserved. There are opportunities for projects bottom up to space, for projects related with satellites. They need a consortium of companies, and they need to collaborate with public entities of research, university, technology centers, etc. And in the future, we want to be in another element of Scale Up program, that is the Invest element, but it's a future, a future opportunity. But we want to be there because it has a specific component for Invest, and for investment, and has another specific component that help companies to find buyers, sellers. It's like a marketplace, and I think it's interesting for us also. But we are starting. We are.
Okay, so Carlos, it seems that well, from your ESA perspective, ESA is putting a lot of money. The Spanish agency in Spain and other country agencies are putting a lot of infrastructure help. European Commission is getting crazy putting money. So now I'm a fund, and you have the vast experience, I guess, in Spain, in seeing what makes, how do you see success? How do you rate that a startup is successful, you know, from your experience, I guess. So what do you see in a startup to say this team is going to be successful? Okay. Because we have the money and we have the infrastructure, you know, and also you have the money from your ESA perspective. But when you see a team, You have a lot of experience.
Yeah.
How is the best investment of the money and the help and all the programs from the ESA for our team?
It's not an easy question because defining what is a success in a startup or in a life is not evident what implies. But for us, it's very important to have the capability to measure the impact of this initiative. It's important because we are using public money for doing that, so we have to justify internally to Comunidad de Madrid and mainly to the Spanish Space Agency, because this is an optional program that we are investing in a very profitable project in terms of return to the region and to the country. One of our main mission is to measure that impact, and all the startup incubated have the agreement to report during years some indicators in order to try to measure. We are measuring job creation, we are measuring the investment received by the company, obviously the revenue, but also the technology development and the evolution of the program. We have some success stories. For example, 10 days ago, we celebrated an event of a company created in the 5 years ago, and right now this company is having offices in Washington, in Lausanne, in Abu Dhabi. The name of the company is Anthem, and this kind of stories justify, because they're creating maybe around 50, 60 full-time employees, and we have many examples of successful stories that I think that justify the effort we are doing in supporting this space-related entrepreneurship.
Okay, so I will keep with you, going back here, finishing a session. 5 seconds, your biggest dream, if you were able to ask, for something to the ecosystem, and the biggest challenge that you see in the space ecosystem. Same question for you, 3, and we'll close with that.
Just to summarize.
5 seconds.
That space is amazing, entrepreneurship in space is amazing, and investing in supporting the space entrepreneurship is really important for us.
María José?
I think we have a Spanish space agency at the end, and this is very important. We are working hard, and we want strong companies, and we want to give a lot of opportunities.
Okay.
I think it's a very amazing sector, and Spain is doing, Spanish companies are doing very well.
Okay.
So.
Irene, you're closing.
I close. On me, something that I'd like to say to space entrepreneurs in general is think European. I think getting in touch with the whole European ecosystem is the most useful thing, like not only thinking nationally, but thinking as well at the European level, and reach out to us as well. We're always available to support, to help navigate the different opportunities that there are for space startups and investors as well.
So from the dome of the Martian, thank you very much for all of you to being here, okay?